Hey, what's going on YouTube? We got a 2013 Yamaha YZ125. About to do a top end, and got all my stuff, new pistons, new gaskets, all the kit. It's always handy to have the manual so you can actually follow with the recommended specifications and stuff. It's always good to have. And as you guys can see, I have started already taking just some stuff off. Took the gas tank that it's only secure by a bolt. That's pretty easy. The plastics on the sides covering the radiators are pretty easy too. Remove the top engine mounting bracket. That's out of the way, and on this side you just need to drain the coolant, which is gonna be this bolt right here, and move the hoses, disconnect the power valve actuator, and start taking the head and after the cylinder, and let's see what we can find. Let's see what kind of surprises we're gonna get in here. So starting with draining the coolant, just remove the top cap. And then down here on the water pump, this bolt right here, it's number 8. Make sure you got your bucket ready. And after we're done draining the coolant, it's always good to remove the hose up here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but yes, so we can move the radiators forward. We can start and move on to the actuator cap. No wonder why it was leaking. There was no gasket on it. Whoever did it before, I think it forgot to put a gasket on. I wonder what else are we gonna find. So next, now that you have the actuator exposed, you can remove the actuator arm. There's a spacer that goes in there. Just make sure you keep that as well. Okay, so now we're ready to take the head off, and it's always good to take it off in a crisscross pattern. So let's see what kind of surprises we start seeing in here. Looks pretty good. Actually, it looks really good. That's a good sign. It looks pretty straight. I see cross markings on the cylinder. It looks pretty good so far. So let's see what else. So at this point, we're ready to take the cylinder off. Same in a crisscross pattern. this point we're ready to take the cylinder off. And gently push down on the piston. So at this point we're ready to remove the piston, and see if I can get a good angle. And there's a groove where it sits in, and I'm just gonna push it out. Try to cover it a little bit so it doesn't shoot out. There you go. I already went ahead and took the other one out, and the piston pin should be able to just pull out. I think I'm gonna go ahead and just pull it because I got a new one. But if you were gonna reuse it, definitely don't do this. There you go. And if you're replacing the needle bearing, you can just go ahead and get it out. So at this point you're ready to put the piston back on. I already cleaned some of the surfaces and measure some stuff according to the manual. But yeah, if you don't happen to have the manual, you should, I think you can get it online, download a PDF file or something, and I'll definitely recommend it. And I'm gonna go ahead and put one side in. The idea is to get the opening on the piston clips opposite to the actual opening on the piston, but and I guess in this particular piston it fits so snug in there that it's definitely not gonna move. You can use Premix as assembly fluid. Always make sure you look where the arrow is pointing. It's going to point towards the exhaust. Never forget to put the needle bearing so you get it all looked up. Put in the same groove where it goes. Now for the tricky part, put the other piston clip on. And that's pretty much it. Now we're ready to put the clean all the mating surfaces. Make sure you get your dowel pins to line up the cylinder with the case, and cleaning all the surfaces, the cylinder, pretty much everything. I will say clean it up good, and it's almost ready to put back together. There's gonna be a letter on the top of the ring indicating that it's the top, so that obviously goes on top. And then there's this, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's that opening on the ring, and it lines up with a pin on the back of the piston. So without putting too much stress on the ring, it's on. So at this point we're ready to put the cylinder back on. Go ahead and remove the napkin, shop towel, I would say. Go ahead and put the gasket on. And gasket always has a flat side, and I think in this particular case, it can only go a certain way, so make sure you clean your surfaces pretty good. We're gonna apply a little bit of premix to the top of the piston and the ring. The skirt of the piston too. And the same thing with the cylinder, making sure all your surfaces are clean. Apply a little coat of oil to the inside walls of the cylinder. Just whenever you start up the engine, it's not just, it's already looped up. There's no metal and metal. Once you complete that, you're ready to put the head back on, and this part we gotta pinch the ring. So at this point we're ready to put the cylinder nuts on. So just in case you were wondering what kind of piston to buy, there's a lot of sizes out there. On the back of your cylinder is gonna have a stamp with a letter from A to D, and in there, depending on the letter you got stamped, that's gonna be your size, and depending on your cylinder, what type of cylinder you have, is gonna be your piston size. In this case, I have a B piston, but that's the measurement of the bore. I measured it already with a dial, and the B piston, which this is the measurement. And reach back here, put the other one in. So for this hard to reach bolts, I was able to get the Motion Pro 3-inch extension, which actually works pretty well. So now I just get them all snugged up. No torque to them yet. So whenever you're using the extension, it's actually gonna change the amount of torque that you're gonna put on your torque wrench. So according to the manual for YZ125, I know they're pretty much all the same for the most part. It tells you 22 foot-pounds, but adding the extension, it's gonna take it down to 18. There's actually a mathematical formula to do it, and but I'm gonna save you the time and tell you it's 18. So whenever you're using it, make sure you put in your 18. So that's 18 foot-pounds. And then whenever you're gonna use it, you always gotta make sure it's in line with the torque wrench, because if you use it in an angle, it's gonna actually change the torque applied. So as long as you have it in a straight line, you should be good. So at this point, we can go ahead and put the power valve actuator. So after you're done installing the O-rings, surface is clear. Are you ready to put the head on? So at this time, we're ready to torque the head, always on a star-cross pattern, and yeah, let's do it. So that was 20 foot-pounds on all of them. That pretty much concludes the top end, like the more technical part of the job. But rest is just hooking up the radiator hoses back on, putting the exhaust back on, putting the tank on, putting the radiators in place, throwing the plastic back on, the seat. Pretty easy stuff. But yeah, like, subscribe, and see you around.